Hi there, it's Sherry. Welcome to my channel, if you're new. So I wanted to do a video about procrastination because so many people tell me they want to do things, but they just don't do them. So I wanted to do a video just like my personal observation of why people procrastinate doing things that they say they actually want to do. So I'm going to get right into it. Don't want to procrastinate on this. So number one is things we want to do are not given as much importance as things we have to do, which seems kind of obvious, but it actually can be really detrimental to get started on something else because we see going to work, brushing our teeth, eating, like things that absolutely have to get done are going to get done. But unfortunately, like things we want to do are just not considered important. They're just like, side things. If we get to it, we get to it. And with that attitude, it's just never ever going to happen. Like, in order to do things we want to do, we have to see them as important. Like, we have to recognize the value in them. And even if it's not something we have to do, like if it's something we want to do, it's important. So if that is your reason, that I suggest just give it that importance. Tell yourself, like, this is something you may never get a chance to do ever if you don't do it. Like, who knows, like things we want to do. I think if you have your basic needs yet met, then they are important. So that's number one, And number two is we often don't put things we want to do into our schedules. And if this is the case, then go ahead and pick a date and a time that you absolutely know you can stick to and do it. Otherwise, it's highly unlikely that it's going to happen anytime soon. Because you can almost listen to people talk about doing things they want to do and know right away whether they're actually ever going to do them. For instance, like they're like, I want to play an instrument, but like I got to wait until the kids graduate, or I got to wait until I have more time or more money. And it's just never going to happen if you don't have a solid time slot, especially at first, because it takes a really long time to form a habit. So if we don't have like a definite time right away, then, it might happen, but it's not going to happen frequently, So number three is a big one that I'm sure you've heard a billion times, fear of failure. So a lot of people don't do things they want to do because they're afraid they suck at them. And the reality is, like, you will suck at something when you first start doing it. So just get over it and do it. Like, but the thing is, if you never do it, you're always going to suck at it. Like, that's the only reason the only way you're ever going to stop sucking is if you do something and do it consistently and make it a part of your schedule. So just accept that you're not going to be good at it at first. No one is, really. Some people are a little better than others at first, but really no one is an expert at first. So, just if that is the reason, then just throw it out the window, because you're never going to learn, it's never going to happen if you're afraid of that. So 4 is feeling like we don't know enough about the things we want to do. And this I actually see like an epidemic now, like people being obsessed with like information and knowing every single little thing about anything before they do it. For instance, like I'm doing YouTube, but I'm probably not the best YouTuber, but I'm still doing it, I figured I need to do it a few times before it becomes like second nature. But yeah, I see that I see everything, like a lot of things in terms of learning an instrument, because I started learning an instrument when I was younger. And it's kind of like if you were to talk to like the best guitarists in the world, and they would tell you everything you could ever need to know about guitar, like the best guitar, like how to practice, like what to learn, like, every little detail. That is still not going to help you play the guitar. Like, it can help you get started for sure, but you are never going to learn guitar if you don't just sit down and play the guitar. So that is my advice. If you are worried about knowing everything, I would just throw that out the window, because don't get me wrong, it's important to know the basics for sure. Like, you don't want to start like playing an instrument with the wrong posture. You don't want to start a blog without like knowing, a good platform and all that stuff. For sure, get to know the basics, but do not become so obsessed with knowing everything that you never do anything. Number 5 is feeling selfish for doing the things we want to do. And this is a really big thing. I mean, obviously, I feel like it's kind of, especially women, they seem to be like a little more like that, but men too. If you like are one of those people where you're like, oh, if it's not for my kids or my husband or my like employer, then it's, I'm selfish. But the reality is, if you don't make time for yourself, you're not doing anyone any favors, because you'll have less to give. You'll probably be depressed and worn out and tired, and you won't even be like fully present for the people that you want to be fully present for. So if you feel like you're being selfish, then you need to really think about that. Like, how selfish is it to do something, maybe it is selfish, but it's still like, it's a good thing, because we all should be like, caring about ourselves and meeting our needs and trying to like, take care of ourselves, because that way we can show up for other people as well. So, but I know that's a big thing, so really just ask yourself, like, is this why I'm procrastinating? Because for many people, I've noticed it is, because they're like, if I sit down for 20 minutes and teach myself to draw, or even just like, if I go for a walk at this time, I'm not helping someone. Like, you don't have to be like saving the world every single second. And number 6 is we might be telling ourselves we want to do something we actually don't. Like, for instance, if you're like, I really want to go back to college, it's like, maybe you don't really want to go to college. You just want like the good job, which is fine. That's absolutely fine. But if that is the case, then I would suggest just getting like really excited about the end goal, because that can sort of like work through the resistance of like doing what you need to do to get it. So, just get excited about like the money you might make, or if it's a business, like the personal freedom you have and stuff like that, and really just try to like goose up that, because that can help you get through like all the steps necessary. So that was the 6 reasons. Let me know if there's like any, I'm sure there's a million more reasons, but this is just like personal observation of people around me, and a lot of people ask me like, how do you do stuff and learn stuff? And because I'm constantly like learning stuff because I love it. And I just noticed that about myself. I have that kind of personality that I just jump in and do it. And so I don't know. I like to try to help people, because like a lot of the reasons for procrastination are kind of, they're not worth it. Like, it's not worth not doing what you want to do. But also I wanted to say, like, don't feel bad if you procrastinate, because it's not a sign of laziness. It really isn't. If you're procrastinating, it's other reasons. Like, it's like you're not excited enough about it, or you doubt yourself. Like, never just assume that you're not doing the things that you want or to do because you're lazy, because that's not always the case. So, so I hope this was helpful. Again, let me know, if there's anything else that you guys can think of, like any big reasons. I'd love to hear from you. All right. Bye-bye.